Good morning. We are walking with Jesus through the book of Mark, and we are at the point now that we are still in Mark chapter 4, in the latter part of that chapter. Today, we get to talk about something that's just a wonderful, powerful story. Yesterday, we talked about the two parables that Jesus taught, explaining things about the kingdom. But now we get down in chapter 4 to verse 35, and it says, "On that day when evening came," and it was at that point Jesus spoke to his disciples, and he said to them, "Let us go over to the other side." Now he was talking about the other side of the Sea of Galilee. That's where they were. And so they all got in the boat, and as they were crossing, a storm came up. And it was evidently a pretty violent storm. The winds were strong and the waves were big enough that the waves were breaking over the boat, and the boat was beginning to fill with water, and the boat was in danger of sinking. So here, picture that. In this chaotic moment, out in the middle of this storm, the disciples were rowing with all their might, and yet they were fighting the wind and the waves, and it seemed almost like a hopeless situation. And Jesus, well, he was asleep. What does that say? There was a peace in him that's beyond our understanding sometimes. We get caught up in our own storms. He didn't. And so they went to him and they woke him up and they said, "Do you not care that we're dying?" And Jesus at that point doesn't even say that he said anything to them. He simply got up and he rebuked the wind. It doesn't give a quote there, but I get the idea. It was something like he said, "Wind, stop it." And then he spoke to the sea and he said, "Hush, be still." And it became perfectly calm. Can you just picture that? The disciples became afraid. And they asked, "Who is this?" They had seen him heal people. They had seen him cast out demons. They had seen him teach huge crowds. But this took things to a whole new level. He spoke to the wind and to the sea, and they obeyed him. Just when they thought that they were beginning to understand something about him, he did this. How could that possibly be? How can anyone do that? Well, the answer is simple. He wasn't just anyone. He was God, riding in the boat with them. At that point, it says again that they were afraid. At that point, they weren't afraid for their lives. They were afraid because they were having to confront something that they did not understand. And I would suspect that from then on, they saw him in a whole different way. Until now, they had learned about what he could do. He could teach, he could heal, he could cast out demons. They had seen him do these things. They had learned about what he could do. But now, they understood more who he was. He was God, Creator, Master, Lord. He was the commander of the universe. And he still is. Our lesson? Well, first of all, this. All that he could do then, he still can do. Who he is still. And when we come to him, we're not coming to him because he's a problem solver. We're coming to him because he is the Creator, the Master, the Lord of the universe. And he still calms storms. The storms of our own fear, our own chaos, our own emotional disruptions, our own crisis moments. He speaks, and the storms are calmed. Now you let that sink in, and I've got to ask a question. What was that thing that you were afraid to take to him because you didn't think that he could handle it? He still calms storms. He's still there. Why? Because Jesus is Lord. Make this a great day. Bye for now.